Zero Carbon Project is tackling climate change using the blockchain and international carbon credits. Zero carbon tokens are underpinned by concrete value, as energy suppliers must use them to pay their transaction fees for using our marketplace. As our consumer base grows, the demand for zero carbon tokens increases, constrained by a fixed supply. To be involved, please visit us at zerocarbonproject.com.
Hi everybody, this is Crypto Rich, working with you to get rich with crypto, filling our pockets with crypto profits. I have with me Marcos. Marcos is one of the team at Bittubers.com, and before I introduce him, I want to let you know this is not investment advice. Do your own due diligence. Do not invest any more than you can afford to. And all I'm doing in this video and all my other videos is sharing with you what I'm discovering as I travel along on the blockchain. Now, this is an interview that I had arranged a few days ago with Saber, but Saber had something come up, and Marcos has very generously stepped in at a minute's notice. And I imagine, Marcos, you did that because you had absolutely nothing to do, just sitting around.
Yeah, so hello, my name is Marcus Behm. I'm the Chief Technical Officer of Bittube, and as you can guess from the title, I have absolutely nothing to do except sit around. But yeah, so Saber had an emergency and couldn't join, so he passed it on to me.
Great. Listen, thank you so much for making yourself available. And I did have a list of questions that I'm going to go, some of which we'll go through, some of which may get covered in the course of the conversation anyway, and some we may not go through. This is my understanding of Bittubers, and then you add anything, because I've covered Bittubers before, and I shall have a link to the playlist certainly when I post this on YouTube, although I'm going to post this on Bittubers first. And Bittubers doesn't have playlists yet.
It should actually have playlist functionality, but it's Marcos, personal playlists.
Yeah, let me correct that. I don't know how to use Bittubers fully yet. That might be more accurate. Okay, so Bittubers is a hybrid. It's a blockchain traditional technology hybrid that is it's not censorship free, but it's less censored than Google is. And I'll say a little bit about that, right? And people can upload videos and posts and blogs and set up groups and everything. And the whole idea is to decentralize the uploading process, as people can't necessarily remove stuff. It can't be shadow banned in the way that Google and YouTube and Facebook are doing all of that with content creators that they don't agree with. And also, people get paid. Content creators get paid for their content, and viewers get paid for viewing and interacting with content creators and content.
Yes, indeed.
That's not the whole deal. Anything you want to add that I've missed out that you think is important?
Yeah, so first thing I want to touch is the censorship part. So our platform doesn't have any kind of censorship due to any political bias or anything like that. The only thing that isn't allowed on the platform is illegal things like copyright infringement and depending on certain locations, some content is considered illegal, and of course then there is content that is I would say globally considered illegal and at least on
terrorism, and child porn, stuff advocates violence,
stuff like that, but hate speech and other things that the other platforms are concentrating on, we don't plan on taking steps on censoring people because they believe different things than what the mainstream might want them to.
Yes, and I noticed Alex Jones has an account.
Yes, Alex Jones has joined the platform as far as I know.
Yes, very good. And he's been deplatformed by YouTube and many other platforms. even though I don't think he advocates hate speech at all, but he presents an alternative view, and I think the advertisers don't like it.
Yeah, I think his view of things isn't advertisement friendly. So, yeah.
Yeah. Okay, very good. Very good. Thank you for that. And let me see. There is censorship in terms of it's done in a decentralized fashion. Could you say a little bit about that?
So we are working on a community moderation system that will be implemented later, where the community will act in cooperation to moderate. So there will be a lot of community moderators that will get a vote on an action. For example, a post gets reported that this content is copyright violation. Then a lot of moderators on random from the group of community moderators will see the post and react to it, and based on the reactions of the community post, then an action will be taken, or the report will be rejected. Um, the thing with the community moderation is that if some moderators, for example, disagree with the majority of the votes, they will be penalized from basically choosing against the majority. And on top of that, we'll always have the actual site moderation level to keep overwatch on everything. But yeah, we will try to make the moderation system as community based and as transparent as possible. So everybody that's going to be part of the community moderation system will also be visibly on the side part of the community moderation system. So people will know. And yeah, we'll try to make it as fair and as community driven as possible.
Great, great. Okay, and it is how Google started off, using community-driven search results.
Yes.
Yeah, crowdsourced search results, and then over the years, they've changed all that, and now it's more centralized. So what's the risk that you're not going to become more centralized? You're not going to go and do a Google on us a few years down the line.
Uh, Well, first of all, like our monetization idea doesn't really revolve around trying to centrally collect the information from users, try to get them centrally to use some service. So the main Bittube Airtime monetization system, since it's global and doesn't require personal information, we have no real incentive to have the stuff on our servers. Exactly the opposite. We are paying for all the processing that's happening on our servers. So of course we want to offload as much of that to the larger distributed network. So it's in our best interest to get as much of it distributed as possible.
Right, right. Okay, and then what's the company revenue model then?
Uh, the company revenue model in the future is based on the blockchain reward and, for example, subscription fees from Bittubers and other services that we provide.
Right. Okay. Okay. And then I just want to say something about, for people who are watching this, what's happened with me and YouTube. So I've been running my channel since April 2017, focusing on cryptocurrencies. And the beginning of June, I got an email from YouTube about some content violations, which I appealed. And their guidelines say, oh well, if for publishing regulated goods, which is guns, drugs, gambling, none of which I've ever covered, nor have I ever covered projects related to those, crypto projects related to those. And I appealed, and I lost the appeal, and I got 3 strikes. I couldn't post for a week, and then they proceeded to delete 80 of my videos,
Yeah,
including.
yeah, that is a common story currently going around. That for whatever reason they disagree with something you have said, and or somebody with enough flag uh, to say that they don't like your content goes and reports your posts, and well, unless you have hundreds of thousands or millions of viewers, YouTube won't even like look at your petitions for the uh, reports. So yeah, there are a lot of people like YouTube. It's kind of surprising that you can easily find thousands of videos about YouTubers, YouTube censoring YouTubers on YouTube. I wonder when they get to the point of censoring those videos too.
Yes. Yes. Now, how do I know that you're not going to do it at some point? Not you personally, Marcos, unless you are going to do it personally, right?
Yeah, I'll personally go through the videos and check. No, I don't agree with this video. No.
That's right. That's right. Right. And you felt, you didn't show up in the best flattering light. Let's delete that video that I'm in.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
How do I know BitTubers
So
aren't going to delete my videos?
yeah, so well, one of the biggest weapons we have against that is again our monetization system, because we are not dependent on advertisement money. So we are not also dependent on the advertisement idea of what is free speech and what is not. So for us, it doesn't really matter if the content aligns with our views or not. If it gets views, it's still the same for us than if a content that agrees with our uh, personal views gets viewed. Um, so company-wise, there is no incentive to try keep the monetization system happy, because the monetization system is completely agnostic. It doesn't care what it's monetizing in a sense.
Hmm. Okay. And is there something about how the content is distributed on the Tor network?
Uh,
Have I misunderstood something?
Not really. It's more about how the actual Airtime monetization system works. So, because the Airtime monetization system isn't tied to like percepts a global or like user perception uh, of the site, like even if the user didn't like what they read, or if the advertiser who sees the site doesn't like what they see, they even if we see that the site has something that we don't like agree with, we in a sense the Airtime monetization system uh, doesn't have any preference to not monetize those sites. Is still the same for us as a company. Uh, Whereas for advertisement revenues, of course, if you're gonna put advertisement on sites that the advertiser doesn't like, then they will stop buying advertisement from you, and you'll lose revenue. So you have incentive to keep the advertisement away from content that they don't like. So in a sense, censoring those sites, cutting them off the monetization system.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, could you explain the monetization system then, please? Or actually, let me try and explain. Right? Let me have a go,
Okay. Yeah, sure.
and then you can add what I've missed and correct what I've got wrong. So people who are watching this video on Bittubers actually even on YouTube they can donate Tube, provided they've on YouTube they need to have registered for the Airtime module.
Yes, for YouTube to be able to donate or get airtime, you need to have the airtime extension installed or using our Bittube browser, which has the extension built in.
Yeah, and that browser works on Windows and Linux, and I'm on Mac. So
Yeah, there is a Mac version in the works. It'll be out
soon. That's right. So I'm
Yeah.
using. So I had the Airtime extension. And I've got a link in the description below, and if people use my link, they get 5 Tube coins, and I get 5 Tube coins if they use my link. So it helps both of us. And then
Yes.
they can click on the donate Tube buttons, and then I get however Tube coins they want to donate. So then I get rewarded by viewers,
Yes.
and on bittubers.com, then they just it's all inbuilt within the application. They can just reward tubes.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And say more about the monetization. Anything? I think I missed out quite a bit.
Yeah, so the whole actual airtime system in that part. So what you described is just the donation part of the airtime system, but for the airtime, it also calculates the users like active time on consuming some content, and based on that active time of all the users in the system and what content they have consumed, part of the blockchain, currently 75% of the blockchain reward gets distributed to the creators and the users that have consumed content. uh, so if somebody watches your video on Bittubers or on YouTube with the extension, they will also generate airtime, which will then give you some amount as a creator for that time that was consumed, spent watching your videos. And for the viewers, they will get some smaller partition for just consuming content on the internet.
Right. Okay. Okay. Just so I've got this clear. So let's say I have a video that is watched for a total of, I don't know, 1,000 hours on Bittubers, and many times, and people who are watching that, let's say it's an hour-long video, 1,000 people watch this video for an hour. As they're watching it, they'll be rewarded in tube coins.
Yes.
And then I will also be rewarded in tube coins because people are watching it. Is that right?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. And as well as that, people get rewarded for browsing the internet anyway, provided they're doing it from the Bittube browser or they've got the Airtime extension in the browser, whichever they're using.
Yes, if you have the Airtime extension installed or using the browser, then anything you do on the internet will basically reward you as a user for the time you are spending. And the content creators, for any website you visit, if it already doesn't have a wallet generate, it will automatically generate a wallet for it and start collecting airtime. So any domain, any site you visit, they are all the airtime system is already monetizing them, and we are working on automated information systems so that the website owners will be informed that, hey, you have this amount of tubes available on your wallet, just sign up here to reclaim them.
Wow. Okay. Very good. All right. And then you launched the public beta, I think the first week of July.
Yes.
Fully public.
Yes, 1st of July.
Yeah. Okay. The 1st of July. And then how's it going? What are you learning? What are you discovering?
So far, it seems to be going nicely. Of course, there is a lot of performance scaling and stuff that we have to do now that the usage is increasing much more rapidly. In the closed beta, of course, we didn't have large amounts of people uploading stuff and using the different functionalities. So some parts of the system need scaling, and of course, there is still a ton of features and uh, uh, enhancements that we want to add to the site before the actual full public release. So we are still in open beta.
Right. And when is the schedule for the full public release, roughly?
Can't remember exactly. I think it was like 3 months or so.
In 3 months or so. Okay. And also I understand the mobile applications are going to be out sometime in 2020 or sooner.
Yeah, we'll try to work on overall just making the site mobile friendly user wise, because developing native applications for different operating systems, Android, iOS, and then having the website also responsive, because sometimes you just browse into the website. That is currently a bit too much work for us to take on, so we'll focus on getting the site to be mobile friendly, so that you can use the site on basically through the browser that will be available on mobile.
Right, right. Okay, okay. Let me see. Shall we? Actually, I want to see. Any idea of how many people are coming on? I think I read a couple of years ago, before you answer that, Marcus, that there's something like 14,000. My numbers may be wrong, by the way. You may know better. 14,000 videos are uploaded every second on YouTube, or something ridiculous.
Um, yeah, I think for YouTube, the latest I heard was something like 47,000 minutes per 1 minute.
47,000 minutes of videos are uploaded every minute.
Yes.
That's incredible. Now, how well are you set up for that?
We'll need to scale quite massively once we get to that point.
Okay. Well, one of the reasons I just want to say something for myself is there's also a warning in this for people, right? So I'm glad that I've got in early, because I'm right at the beginning. I can begin to build my brand and my audience on Bittubers, but there is a risk, right? This is a startup, right? And who knows where it's going to go in 6 months, a year's time, or anything. So please do bear that in mind with any startup or any project that you take on. Okay, Marcos, and any idea how many people you'll get? Can you say how many people you're getting every day, roughly, signing up, new
Uh,
sign-ups?
I don't know the statistic currently for new signups, but what I can tell you is that um, last I checked, if I remember correctly, we have about for the airtime system about 3,000 to 1 ratio on input. So 3,000 minutes of recorded airtime for every minute also.
Okay, okay, all right. Well, I don't know, how does that translate to people, or
Well, if you translate it directly, it would mean that every minute there is at least 3,000 people using the extension.
right, right, okay, and that can be at all hours of the day in all different parts of the world. So you
Yes,
can have more people in a 24-hour period using the extension.
yes,
Okay, all right, very good. Well, shall we move on to the questions
yeah,
uh,
sure.
that people sent? You can't see them. I can see them. Okay, so let me see. We talked about the take up. So what about marketing? What are you going to be doing about marketing?
Well, I'm not sure how much I can tell you about that currently. Uh, we are planning on a marketing campaign
Mhm.
uh, now that the platform is moving towards open release, and especially when we're getting the browser and all of this stuff um, like uh, fully released, yes, there will be a major push for marketing. That's basically as much as I can tell you for now.
Okay, all right. And then what are you learning from the beta?
Uh, um, a lot of things. There is a huge amount of feedback coming in that we are going through. Also, a lot of minor improvements that we, of course, part of them had already planned, but seeing people's reactions and requests for them also gives a bit of priority onto what the people want first on the platform. So yeah, we are getting a lot of good information from the beta.
Right. And in terms of requests, what are some of the most popular requests you're getting?
Um, well, currently I'd say like probably the most uh, important things we are working on is just